Brilliant, Watson. That's what we'll do. Disturb his customers and jeopardize his reputation. Let us make nuisances of ourselves. I noticed one or two items with which might discompose these tranquil surroundings. Perhaps you can use them to loosen this chap's tongue without having to tear it out. Surely you jest, Holmes. Still, I'll follow your lead. I know. Something about enhancing his reputation, right? We know about these coat of arms. Let's see if we can't... Ah, here we go. Well, what do we have here? It would seem that all of these so-called heraldic coat of arms are fraudulent. Now, wouldn't the local papers just love to know the true nature of the merchandise in these aristocratic neighborhoods? I suspect these gentlemen won't be back. Now that they're gone, I have an almost uncontrollable urge to test every polo mallet in the shop. Watson would bring down these mallets, will you? Now, sir, do you feel that you could Now, sir, do you feel that you could let the name of the cap's purchasers pass your lips, or shall the doctor and I play a few chukas? This is extortion, but I'll tell you, Lord Brumwell bought the cap to his son Paul. Now please leave. Thank you, my man. Have a nice day. Doctor, let us not overstay our welcome. Let's head out. Hey, we get Lord Brumwell's mansion. Well, I don't like cold calling blue bloods, but hopefully we might be able to get something. Let's look at this. The imposing pole looks like it might activate a clapper of equivalent size to that inside the primary bell of Big Ben. Shall we use it? Trade deliveries are to use the rear entrance. We wish to see Lord Brumwell. Was his lordship expecting you? He is not. His lordship accepts no solicitations. Are you selling something? No, we found some property which belongs to his family and wish to return it. You may give it to me. I'll see that he gets it. I'm sure you would, but I'd rather give it to him personally. Believe me, sir, his lordship is not in the habit of rewarding people for any reason whatsoever. You might save yourself any trouble by giving what you have to me. I'm afraid I must insist on seeing Lord Brumwell. Very well. Give me your card and I'll see if he's available. What a stubborn fellow. Servants are often reflections of the people they serve, Watson. Indeed. I'm sure our own Mrs. Hudson will be pleased to hear that she may soon be matching wits with Scotland Yard, and making unreasonable demands for tea and biscuits at 2 o'clock in the morning. Perhaps my point was overly general. I'm afraid his lordship isn't available. Lady Brumwell will see you now. Let's head in. Wait here. Her ladyship will summon you. There's not much around here. This red crystal ashtray holds some fresh ashes and a cigarette butt. The crushed butt. Not too fine a point on it. Stinks to high heaven. A gleaming marble statue of the Hellenic masterpiece, The Death of Laocoon and His Sons. Enter. Okay. Mr. Holmes, what may I do for you? I guess we better be polite. Permit me to introduce my colleague, Dr. John Watson. Thank you for seeing us. Not at all. My husband is otherwise engaged at the moment. Pettigrew said you had something that belongs to us. I have a cap which I believe belongs to your son Paul. If it is Paul's, I shall have to reprimand him for losing it. How do you come to have it? It's a rather long story. He's a very pleasant lad. While talking to him, we learned that Miss Anna Carraway was once in your employ. Do you know where she now lives? Silly and disobedient boy. Lord Brumwell would be most displeased were he to learn that Paul was sharing stories with total strangers. Lady Brumwell, let me assure you of our motives. The doctor and I are investigating the murder of Anna's sister, Sarah Carraway. We were hoping that you might know where Anna or any other Carraway family members might be found. I'm sure I do not. I never knew Anna to speak of any of her family. In the end, Anna became unsuitable as a house servant. We had to dismiss her. How was it that you came to retain her? Who referred her to you? I've long since forgotten that, Mr. Holmes. Now, gentlemen, if there's nothing else. Let's see if there's anything else here. Has your butler been with you long? His entire life. He has grown old in this house, like the rest of us, though I fail to see how that might concern you. If I may ask, Lady Brumwell, might I ask the source of that unusual smell? Does Lord Brumwell smoke an exotic brand of tobacco? Indeed not. I suspect my husband's guest brought some noxious cigarette into the house. Now, was there something else in particular that you wanted? If it is convenient, please tell your husband that we may return to speak with him. Perhaps he knows something about Miss Carraway's people. Do not trouble yourselves, gentlemen. I'm sure he knows even less than I do about the unhappy girl's friends and relations. That as it may be, my lady. I would still like to speak to him. Very well. I'll give him your card. Good day. Direct approach. Might we speak to your husband, Lady Brumwell? He's very busy at the moment, as am I. Good day, gentlemen. What could she possibly be busy with? Oh well. Let's take a look around. A miniaturized Roman copy of the Winged Victory, called Nike of Samothrace, which stands at the head of the grand staircase of the Louvre Museum in Paris. A horrifying portrayal of Jason's final confrontation with the Medusa, the witch whose hair was made of poisonous reptiles. These mythological objects were great favorites with a certain unimaginative types in the 17th century. A reclining woman, scantily dressed, lazes in the woods surrounded by various seemingly friendly animals. She may represent the Roman deity Diana, the huntress, but there is no sign of her traditional bow and arrows. Diana, I prefer Artemis. A burgundy brocade sofa made in Paris during the early reckless days of King Louis XVI's ill-fated reign. A larger-than-life portrait of a noble personage dressed in the clothing typical of the time of King Charles II. This is presumably some honored Brumwell ancestor. Blue blood true and true. Let's bash our way in. I'm sorry, but Lord Brumwell is very busy, and I simply cannot allow you to disturb him. The chair is an obvious companion to the sofa under the mirror. Its shiny upholstered finish is in remarkably good condition. A 17th century French writing desk continues the French Imperium theme of the sumptuously decorated drawing room. Sorry, there are no lights in this room. I can't seem to turn them on. Watson, anything useful to say in this matter? Watson, has any new revelation struck you that might help us in this affair? Not as yet, Holmes, but I will try to keep my wits about me. No, I don't think there's anything else we can do here. Alright, time to leave. Let's head over to Anna Carraway's estate. And we've been going around this area to find out Anna's relationships with other people. We found out that she was a servant to Lord Brumwell, or at least some sort of nurse to Paul.